Thomas Wojner. Thomas is escorted by his parents, Amber and Jason Wojner. He has attended Calvary for 13 years. During his time at Calvary, Thomas has been a member of the football team, archery team, and the track and field team. His awards include the GAPS champion in shot put and discus. Thomas plans to attend Indiana University in Bloomington and pursue a degree in banking and finance. His favorite verse is John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." Thank you, Thomas. Calvary Knight family and friends, please join me in a final round of applause for our senior track and field student athletes and their families.
No, it's nothing bad.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the campus of Calvary Christian School as we have got the rubber match, the third and final game between the Pacelli Vikings and the Calvary Knights here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. They did honor the track and field team for senior night. Congratulations to them. And we have got a treat for you because joining me here on the broadcast is former Calvary Christian Knight himself, Paxton Holloway. Paxton, how you been?
I'm doing great, Richard. Glad to be here.
Yeah, well, this is your second game, as you called the Brookstone game last week.
Yes, sir.
Right now, Calvary is the 5 seed, and Pachelli would be the 10 seed. So Pachelli got a huge upset yesterday at Dimal Field, 9-7. What has been your impression so far of this series? I know that Calvary had to come back in the 7th inning on Tuesday to win game 1, but we've got the rubber match, and this is a huge game, especially for playoff implications for both teams.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure getting to call Brookstone and Calvary last week. It's very similar implications here. Both of them, they were 1-1 coming into Friday night. Both of them wanted that win. Calvary snuck out with it. Tommy Irving got the big walk-off hit the other night for Calvary's one win in this series. And then, you know, that devastating 9-7 loss. These two schools being rivals, you really hate to lose to your rival, but, you know, both these teams are going to want to come back tonight. So I expect a really good fight between the two teams.
And we got a fantastic pitching matchup. Jacob Velos for Pachelli going up against Braxton Wilkinson. And we are ready to go. Coach Smith, Coach Rasmuth, they join with the umpires, and we're ready to play some baseball here on this Friday night, like a tradition that Calvary does at that 7 o'clock start time.
Oh, yeah.
We expect to see a lot of fans here because, you know, they're getting off work and they're coming to the ballpark at a pretty decent time. And it's a Friday night. The kids are out of school.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a school night.
Yep. Student section right below us is already packed out. I expect for much more to be joining. So.
Hey, I want to remind everybody, this broadcast is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, Kinetic Credit Union, Buffalo Rock, and Master Wall Incorporated. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have the starting lineup for you and the first pitch here from Calvary Christian. Back after this on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover these 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy, and Gordy Eye Care for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Get ready to smile because it's Truck Month at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Take your pick of over 40 brand new Chevrolet Silverados, discounted up to $14,000 off while they last. New Chevy Equinox, the compact SUV featuring high-tech options, discounted up to $5,000 off. Enjoy no payments until summertime. Choose from over 500 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back to Calvary. We're going to have the prayer and the national anthem, and then we'll have the start of this game here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
As we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day to come out and watch these boys compete tonight, Lord. Lord, we ask for their safety tonight, Lord. Keep everyone healthy and safe throughout tonight's game, Lord. Lord, we ask that you be with these coaches. Guide them not only as ball players, but godly young men, Lord. Lord, we ask for traveling mercies to our friends from Pachelli, as well as our Calvary family and friends, Lord. And all this, Lord, we ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
right, Paxton, it's time to play ball. We got the starting lineups for the Pacelli Vikings. Leading things off and pitching, Jacob Velos. Batting second and playing shortstop is Cam Carino. Batting third and playing third base is Connor Zitrauer. The cleanup hitter and playing in left field is Levi Thompson. Behind the plate is Braden Hudson and batting fifth. Dustin Sherman batting sixth and playing first base. Austin Danielson is out in center field, and he is batting seventh. The DH, Alex Aponte, batting eighth, and batting ninth, and in right field is Merrick Miller. And on the mound for the Calvary Knights is Braxton Wilkinson. And looking at his pitching stats, as we're trying to pull that up. And when it comes to pitchers, you think of Tommy Irving, you also think of Braxton Wilkinson. He's had just a fantastic season. His eighth appearance, 3-2 with a 3.65 earned run average. I tell you, Paxton, that is impressive.
That's very solid, especially for him only being a sophomore.
Yeah.
Got a lot of upside, 2 more years. I think he'll be a real special player going forward for the Knights.
Around the diamond at third base, we got, well, Tommy, actually, we're looking at, I think Tommy Irving's out at second base. Trying to make sure. We got J.C. Smith is actually at third base. So they switched them on the lineup card. Cam Houston is at shortstop. Leon Colcutt at first base. Bryson Brooks out in right field. Trip Ellison in center. And out in left field is Fitz Stone. So J.C. Smith is actually the designated fielder. He will not bat in the lineup, but he is at third base. So one thing that Coach Steve Smith did, he switched the 2 position players. We know by the accolades of Coach Steve Smith, former Chattahoochee manager for 3 years.
Absolutely.
Led the Calvary Knights to 6 straight GAPS championships. And they would have won a 7th if it wasn't for COVID in 2020.
Yeah, that 2020 team was something special. I got to watch that one firsthand with my big brother on that team. And it definitely would have been a 7th, that's for sure.
All right, well, Jacob Velos is coming up for Pachelli, batting .310 on the year. And by the way, his older brother, Justin Velos, plays for CVCC. I called his games yesterday. That first pitch is in there for a strike from Braxton Wilkinson. And we are underway here at Calvary. Wilkinson working from the stretch. This is the rubber match. This series is tied 1-1. With Pachelli getting a 9-7 victory at Diamond Field. Here's the 0-1, and that is lined in a center for a base hit. And Jacob Velos leads things off with a single here in the first.
Just a great hit right there.
Yeah,
man.
he took that 0-1 pitch. And
you can't ask for any better right there, right up the middle into no man's land. Single all day long.
You get Jacob Velos on base. That's a good sign. Now here comes Cam Carino, the shortstop. First pitch to Carino, swing and a miss for a strike. And Paxton, that really fired up the Calvary student section. Yeah, the student section is below us. They are in full effect here.
Oh, absolutely. Like I stated before the broadcast, this is a big rivalry. You know, Glenwood, Brookstone, Pachelli, those are 3 games we look forward to every single year. Those students, they'll show out for those games.
Well, it's Braxton Wilkinson facing Cam Carino, and the pitch showing bunt, and bunts it foul. I want to say that's an 0-2 count. The scoreboard for some reason is not working. We had a 0-2 count as the wind's starting to pick up. I tell you that some of the battling the elements, the pollen, the wind, and the sun is some of the elements you got to battle when you're out here doing a ball game. We got Braxton Wilkinson from the stretch and the pitch, and that is line foul in the parking lot. That might have been closer to the football field. Paxton, I'm telling you, he got a hold of that one, but it's definitely pulled it, and it's an 0-2 count.
He's fighting here at the plate. Carino is looking just to move the runner there.
Yeah.
He does want to check him. Not going.
I thought he was going to bunt him over, but now with an 0-2 count, he's going to swing away. By the way, Cam Carino, only a sophomore. This is a young team that Coach Case Rasmuth is in his first year with the Pacelli Vikings. There's the 0-2. There's a ground ball right to Smith. The throw over to Houston for 1, and he's safe. Velos beats out the throw.
And that's the danger you face with Velos on the mount, or on the bag, running. He's fast. He's got some wheels on him, so you put something in play, more than likely he's going to get to that next base.
I think I'm going to give credit for a hit for Cam Carino. Jacob Velos bailed him out and beat the throw, so that's going to be back-to-back hits. And here comes the leading home run leader for the Pacelli Vikings, Connor Zitrauer. I tell you, he has got power. 5 home runs, 426 average, and 26 RBIs. This is the batter you want in this situation of your Pacelli.
Oh, absolutely. 2 men on. Nothing better here.
Wilkinson fires at a curve, and that hits him. And the bases are loaded. It's not the start that Braxton Wilkinson wants here in this game. So Braxton Wilkinson was scheduled to pitch, but we just got word that Colton Silvestri is the pitcher. So we appreciate the parent for telling us that. I looked down the lineup card, and I couldn't tell like what number he was wearing. But bases are loaded. Silvestri in a little bit of trouble here, and Levi Thompson, the batter. And he takes ball 1. 1-0 to Levi Thompson, also a sophomore, batting .264, 11 RBIs on the season. The 1-0, right on the outside part of the plate for a strike, 1-1. That was a nice pitch by Silvestri.
That's a good confidence pitch there. You know, with bases loaded, he's going to want to just get him in there. Right there, pounded the zone with a fastball.
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. So Colton Silvestri, a sophomore. He's pitched in 23 2/3 innings. We're trying to get more stats on him. 739, 1-1 on the season, his 7th appearance. We had a little bit of a change in the lineup card. But by the way, we've got some score updates. Columbus, they beat Sonoraville in game 1, 2-0. Jordan fell to Drew Charter 9-1 in game 1. So we got GHSA playoffs going on right now. 1-2 pitch, got him swinging. Strike 3. Nice pitch there by Silvestri. Thompson is out on strikes, and that was a big out.
That was a huge out with those loaded bases there. You know, no outs too. He had to get something there, and he did exactly what he wanted. Calvary's going to look to get out of here with no damage.
Now the catcher, Braden Hudson. Silvestri. First pitch to Hudson is in the dirt. Good stop by Jackson Kennedy. It's 1-0. Calvary was down 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th on Tuesday, and they rallied to walk it off. Yesterday, it was really a slugfest at Diamond Field. Pachelli ended up getting the big win, 9-7. Now we got the third and final game to decide who's going to win the series. The 1-0 to Hudson is in there for a strike. Silvestri. It's got a 1-1 count. Bases loaded here in the top of the first. And the 1-0. Little check swing foul. And I think Paxton, I think somebody brought an air horn to the ball field.
That's what it sounded like.
I don't know if you're allowed to.
Definitely not.
And I think that is something that I don't think you can actually use it when the pitcher's pitching.
No, or when the batter's batting.
Yeah, that's
a big no-no.
I tell you what, and we're having a little bit of a delay in action. I tell you what, there's nothing new under the sun when you come to Calvary and you got the student section here. Last year, we let a little chippiness between the North Side and Calvary game, but it's all in fun. These fans, they come out and they show out.
And these two schools like chipping back and forth at each other.
Huge rivalry.
Especially on Instagram, you know, they love going back and forth, but like you said, it's all out of fun.
The 1-2. High and above the letters, it's 2-2. To the catcher, Braden Hudson. The senior batting .258 with 16 RBIs. Pachelli right now would be the 10 seed. They are currently ranked 10th in the GIAA. Calvary ranked 5. Here's the 2-2 to Hudson. And that's a high foul ball out of play, and we'll start it up again. We got some baseball action around the area. Glenwood is hosting the defending 3A champions, Thomasville. As Noah Shelton, Thrift Behringer over there in the NFHS network. Shaw is taking on Crisp County. Try to get score updates on those games. The 2-2 to Hudson. And there's a chopper foul. I tell you, I've been impressed with this ball field. A lot of improvements. They got the hitting facility over in left field, displaying the state championships and the scoreboard. They got a brand new scoreboard. It's just a lot of great improvements. They got the covered bullpen. Yeah, they really take pride. And Coach Steve Smith, I mean, he's done a lot, you know, especially being the athletic director as well.
Oh, yeah.
Silvestri, the 2-2 to Hudson. And that is a chopper. And that's going to be bobbled. It's dropped. That's going to be bobbled by Tommy Irving. I thought that was going to be a sure out. And
I think they're saying it was on the transfer there. Still gets the out.
Still gets the out. There are 2 away, but did Pachelli score a run? Because I thought the bases were loaded.
They were. I believe he did just catch the ball. I think they were saying
he caught the ball.
Yeah,
so
I think they're saying the drop was on the transfer.
Okay,
but the
so
out does stand.
That was not a ground ball. He actually caught it. There's a swing and a miss to Dustin Sherman. So Hudson lines out to the second baseman, which that's a huge out. I thought if that was a ground ball, it was a tailor-made double play, but
absolutely.
Luckily, he was able to catch it, and the bases are still loaded for Pachelli. I'll tell you, if Calvary can get out of this inning with Strand and the bases loaded, that would be huge.
It would be a huge booster for Silvestri on the mound.
A pitch to Sherman inside for a ball. It's 1-1. We are live here at Calvary. It's Pachelli Calvary, Game 3, Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Richard Holderidge, Paxton Holloway. Here on the broadcast, we got a packed house. Silvestri, 1-1.
Expect for the crowd to get a little bit bigger as the game goes on.
Oh, no question. But I think what helps, Paxton, is that the Cleanstones are on the road.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is a perfect opportunity to go see plenty of baseball games. You got Columbus in the playoffs, Shaw in the playoffs, Glenwood. Central's taking on Baker. And then we got the regular season game between Calvary and Pachelli. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
No, it does not.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch to Sherman. And he fouls one back down the street, takes a bounce, and it lands somewhere in the bushes, and it's going to take forever for somebody to retrieve that baseball. I tell you, once it hit the street, it got a bounce.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the traditional kids shagging foul balls, I think they're going to let that one slide. Silvestri's 1-2. Got him swinging. Strike 3, and Pachelli strands the bases loaded. What a pitch by Silvestri.
And a huge 3 outs there with the bases loaded for Silvestri. Getting out of there with a goose egg. That's big for Calvary.
All right, Calvary's coming up to bat. We're scoreless here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
All right, welcome back here to Calvary Christian. Bottom of the first. And leading things off is going to be Cam Houston, followed by Trip Ellison. Bryson Brooks batting fourth is Jackson Kennedy. Tommy Irving in the 5-hole. Nate Osborne batting sixth and DHing. Batting seventh, first baseman Liam Holcutt. Batting eighth, Fitz Stone in left field. And batting ninth, I want to say that's Colton Silvestri because Braxton Wilkinson was on the lineup card, but we'll have to check up on that one. Cam Houston leading things off, batting .433, 2 home runs and 16 RBIs. And he faces Jacob Velos. Starts him off with a ball. Houston, the senior, part of those championship teams. I mean, he was an integral part of that championship team last year. They had Bailey Thorne, and you had other great Bailey Thorne was the one that had the most home runs in the state.
Yes. Put up a heck of a number last year. Great team last year, but I mean, for Cam Houston to take the reins as the senior team leader and batting .433 on the season, I don't think you could ask for anything more from him.
It's pretty impressive. 2-1. And that's high, ball 3. I tell you what, Calvary, you got to have confidence knowing that Pachelli had the bases loaded with no outs, and they could not get a run. And Calvary knows coming in that is a huge boost. 3-1 is high, ball 4. I tell you what, Paxton, we were doing the game against Westfield School. The same scenario happened against Westfield School, where Westfield School, like, it looked like they were threatening, and Calvary was able to get out of a jam, and they put up runs at the bottom of the inning.
Yeah, man, the top of this lineup here this year for Calvary is something special. Just from games that I've seen highlights, they tend to get around bases and get around them very effectively. But with Pachelli and the talent that they have with Velos on the mound, it might be a bit of a challenge for the Knights here tonight.
Yeah, Velo starts. Trip Ellison with a ball. Boy, those student section, the student section of Calvary is loud.
Oh, and they're going to be. They're going to be the entire night.
Trip Ellison, yeah, 329 batting average. Yeah, it's going to be ball 2. I tell you what, Paxton, I'm intrigued. I just want to like mic them up because this is probably the most that I've ever heard of. There's a throwback. Oh, close, but Houston is back. He had a pretty big lead on there, but a 2-1 count to Trip Ellison. Coach Steve Smith is kind of interchanged the lineup. Ellison, Houston has been 1-2 for most of the season. Velos, runner goes. Hudson, and we got a stolen base for Cam Houston. He's going to take third. And Houston's at third base. Got 2 stolen bases there on that play.
And it looked like for a second he might have wanted to turn third and try to go home there, but Pachelli was able to, they were able to crowd it and get the ball back in time to hold him. But Ellison now has a heck of an opportunity here with a man on third at 3-1 count with no outs.
And then we'll end up getting the heart of the order coming up for Calvary. Velos, delivers the 3-1. That's lined to the center, a base hit. Houston scores. And Ellison has got an RBI single, and Calvary leads 1-0. What timely hitting. Trip Ellison. Give him an RBI.
Having Brooks come up as the team's home run leader.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be thinking that's in Velos' head right now.
Yeah, Bryson Brooks. 3 home runs on the season, 16 RBIs, batting .297. Velos in a little bit of trouble here. Working from the stretch, is going to throw back to Ellison. I tell you, this is the most energetic, most entertaining fan base I've ever witnessed at a baseball game. I mean, they weren't like this last year, but there's a line drive.
Deep.
That's deep. Going back. Oh, and it's going to be dropped by the right fielder, Miller. It was right at the warning track. Merrick Miller missed it, and that's going to be a double for Bryson Brooks.
Me being an Alabama fan, had to notice Brooks' celebration on second. That little crimson crane kick up the knee.
Oh, man. I tell you, that's you could tell he's probably an Alabama fan. All right, well, we got the Seinfeld theme music. So, Jerry, what's the deal with this mound meeting? I'm telling you. This is really the only PA announcer that actually plays the Seinfeld theme music. And so, yeah, I will have to cut up Seinfeld jokes. I'm going to go get some junior mints from the concessions. Trying to think of some other, no soup for you, any more Seinfeld rep. George Steinbrenner for the New York Yankees. You wanted to see me, Mr. Steinbrenner? Yes, George, come into my office. We got a problem, Georgie boy. Anyway. Love Seinfeld, greatest sitcom of all time. So thank you, PA announcer, for playing the Seinfeld theme music. All right, coming up to the plate, Jackson Kennedy. You know, his first game against Lakeside School, Jackson Kennedy hit a 3-run homer. He's got an opportunity here. Swing and a miss. You know, there's still no outs.
Yeah, Velos is going to have to look to try to just settle in here, not worry about that run already given up. He's just going to have to start pounding the zone.
Velos, 0-1 count to Jackson Kennedy. Fires, and that's looped to center. Back underneath it is Danielson. Makes the catch. The runner tags. And Trip Ellison scores, and we got a 2-0 lead. It was a sack fly for Jackson Kennedy. Well, here comes Tommy Irving to the plate.
We all know what Irving did the other night with that walk-off hit for the win for Calvary. Huge win.
Batting .322, 17 RBIs, and he tried to swing it out, but I think he was second-guessing himself. He didn't want to swing, but he ended up swinging anyway. It's strike one.
It sounds like the Pachelli student section over there is starting to come alive just a little bit.
That is great when you have both student sections here. There's a 0-1 to Irving, and that's inside for a ball. Got close on that part of the plate. Velos winds. The 1-1. And a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Jacob Velos has got to find a way to get out of this inning. I'll tell you.
He's ahead of the count here against Tommy Irving, so he's got a good chance to go ahead and get that first out up there on the board that Pachelli's so desperately needing.
One away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Velos the pitch. And got him swinging a low strikeout, and now here comes the throw to first to get out number 2. Oh, was he pulled off the bag? I think
like
they
there's
called
going
him.
to be a bit of a discussion here. It looked like he might have come off the bag.
He might have come off the bag. I thought they might have called him out, and
yeah, there's going to be a discussion between the umpires here.
I thought that was a sure out. But Dustin Sherman might have been taken off the bag.
They do change the call to safe.
The call is reversed. And that will be, in the scoring book, that will be a strikeout, but an error on the pass ball by the catcher. Still get credit for the strikeout. We got Nate Osborne. Yeah, Nate Osborne coming up to bat, the starting quarterback for the Calvary football team. By the way, we saw Coach Brunson here earlier today because they honored the track and field team for senior night. So he was here earlier today, part of the track team. Velos to Osborne, runner goes. And Irving's got himself a stolen base. It breaks up the double play, and now we got runners in scoring position.
Something I can say to attest Coach Brunson being here, at least from my time when I was at Calvary, the teams love to support each other. They love going to each other's events, showing up, showing out. The culture is, it's a brotherhood here.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. I love when we call them the basketball games, and you see members of the baseball team, the football team, and they're always supporting Calvary athletics. That's great to see. The 1-0 to Osborne right down the middle.
That was a beautiful breaking ball there by Velos.
2-0, your score, bottom of the first. Just an incredible turn of events when Pachelli had the bases loaded with no outs. There's the 1-1. And there's a ground ball right to the second baseman, bobbling it. He's got an underhand to first. He does get the out, but the run does score, and it's now 3-0. So Nolan Vaughn bobbled that one, and I don't think that there was going to be a play at home. You had to get the out.
No, and honestly, it was a great play, just knocking it down there with that weird hop that the ball took, getting that first out at first. Excuse me, 2 outs now.
And by the way, Liam Holcutt coming up to the plate. You're familiar with this guy. Did you play basketball with him?
Oh, I did. Great kid. It's awesome to see him grow up. And I say he's a kid, but he is much, much bigger than I am now.
I tell you, he has been just a tremendous post player for Coach Jonathan Gordon, and a pretty good baseball player too. Velos, the 0-2 to Holcutt, and he fouled that one off, so he's going to stay alive in the count. Runner at third. Calvary with a 3-0 lead over Pachelli. This is the rubber match. Calvary right now holding on to the 5 seed, the latest GIAA rankings, which means they would be hosting in the first round of the GIAA playoffs. Pachelli would be on the road. The 0-2, high and outside. Pachelli right now is the 10 seed. I'm wondering if a win over Calvary yesterday, they might get bumped up a little bit, because that was a very impressive win.
That was
by
a very
Pachelli.
impressive win, and I think that it is means for them to be bumped up.
Oh, look out. That was a foul ball. That, man, those Calvary players, they just got to be protected by that fence.
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep your head on a swivel.
But as both of these teams have proven, just in this series alone, that home field advantage is very, very important, especially when it comes down to the playoffs.
And with that loss, Brookstone clinches the region because they got a 2-game lead over Calvary. With 1 game left to play, next week they will host Westfield School. That was a rainout game from last week. All right, here we go. Velos, the 1-2 to Hoka, and that's a high, towering foul ball, and that almost hit the uprights of the goalpost on the football field.
Not sure if that would have counted for 3 runs or not, but would have been impressive nonetheless.
Over there at, I want to say that's Lynn McWilliams Field. I think it took a while. I was calling a Calvary football game. I finally got the field right. There's the 1-2 to Hokut, and there's a ground ball. That's going to be in the left field, a base hit, and Hokut, 2-out RBI single, and Calvary leads 4-0. How about Liam Hokut with a 2-out base knocker? All right,
That was big to extend that lead, too.
Yeah, no question. Fitzstone is now the batter. I tell you, Fitzstone, he's been coming on as of late. He's only a freshman. He's only batting .214, but he's going to get more at bats. He's going to continue to improve.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
nice seeing a young guy in there getting some crucial at bats.
And he's a great pitcher as well. He can do a little bit of everything out there for you.
Yeah, Vila starts him off with a strike, 0-1. We are live here at Calvary Christian, as this game is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, Kinetic Credit Union, Masterwell Incorporated, and Buffalo Rock. That's high, ball 1. It's 1-1.
And that is Brady Reed at the plate, actually, number 23.
So, yeah, so they actually, the lineup card we had was actually not the correct lineup card. Brady Reed is the batter. Thank you for that. We hope that you're enjoying your Friday night of watching baseball. By the way, the Cleanstones are in action up in Chattanooga. I'm trying to get a score update for that. Reed up the middle. Carino bobbles it. Everybody's safe. I thought that Cam Carino was going to field it cleanly and tag the bag, and he ends up bobbling it. Another costly error for Pachelli. That's got to be 3 errors already by the Vikings.
Oh, for sure. And, I mean, you can't help but say that Pachelli's just kind of beating themselves right now with these errors that they're getting in the field. They're going to have to really polish that up.
By the way, Fitzstone is now the batter, so Pachelli actually has a position player and a pitcher and a DH. So that's how the lineup card was filled out. Fitzstone is actually the 9-hitter. And Velo starts him off with a strike. Calvary 14-12 overall. Facing Pachelli, who's 12-13. Both teams play tough schedules. As that's fouled back into the parking lot. And a lucky souvenir for one of those fans. Probably not. They're probably going to have to give that one back. It's an 0-2 count to Fitzstone, and that's the freshman you were talking about. He's got some good batting techniques. He's young, but he's getting some crucial at bats here in a key game. The 0-2. Oh, that looked like strike 3. Paxton,
That did. That was a very beautiful breaking ball there, but Fitzstone, fortunate that was called a ball there.
It's a 1-2 count. Top of the order coming up for Calvary if they can extend this inning. Already 4-0 in the first. Velos to the plate and got Stone swinging, and he gets out of the inning, but not before Calvary puts up 4 runs. We go to the second. It's 4-0 Calvary over Pachelli. Back after this on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hey, grab me one too.
Top of the second inning, Pachelli, they found themselves in a little bit of a hole down 4-0. Richard Holdridge, Paxton Holloway, the former Calvary Knight, played basketball for Calvary, you said 5 years?
5 years, yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So you went to school with Jaden Mason, right?
Yes, I did.
You must have stories for that one.
Oh,
there's Danielson, ground ball, Irving, throw to first, in time for the out. Tommy Irving, he just made that look routine, 4-3 on the put out.
and a beautiful pick there from Liam Hokut over there at first.
So you were there when Jaden Mason had his record-breaking rushing yards for the Calvary football team.
Yes, I was, and funny story, I actually thought that he was going to end up going to Mississippi State, did have an offer to go. I was joking around with him saying I was going to need some signed merchandise, jersey or two.
Yeah, that's going to be a routine pop-up for Tommy Irving. Yeah, Irving's getting a little action here in the second. He's just like, you know what, I got this one. Alex Aponte ends up popping out to the second baseman, and now we got Merrick Miller, the number 9 hitter for Pachelli. Miller, 224 batting average, the sophomore. And this Pachelli team, they got a young team. Coach Case Rasmus, first year as the Pachelli head coach. He is the younger son of legendary coach Tony Rasmus, who he might end up taking Lakeside School to another championship. He put 2 sons in the majors. I mean, they got a good family. And that's going to be fouled 0-2. I don't know if you happen to know, Colby Rasmus and Corey Rasmus both played in the majors.
Yep.
Colby Rasmus was for the Cardinals, Astros. Corey Rasmus was a pitcher for the Braves. Case Rasmus, he was actually in the minor leagues for the Cardinals in the minor league organization. And they got a 4th brother too, but
I believe one of them Rasmus boys played for the Blue Jays.
yeah, I think it was Colby Rasmus.
Colby.
Yeah. Check swing, did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike 3. And probably the quickest inning you'll ever have in the history of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Silvestri. We go to the bottom of the second. 4-0 Calvary on top. Back after this on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy, and Gordy Eye Care for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Bottom of the second, and Calvary batted around in the first because we got the leadoff hitter, Cam Houston, coming up to the plate. He does not have an official at bat. He walked. He had 2 stolen bases and a run scored. So not a bad day for his first at bat. And Velos starts him off inside for a ball.
And Calvary, no doubt, looking to go out there, put another 4 spot up there.
The 1-0. That's in there for strike 1.
Great pitch there from Velos, still on the mound.
Velos gets the sign he wants from Hudson. Delivers the 1-1. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. And
That ball had a little bit of zip on it, didn't it?
Oh, it did. And Houston, he wanted to let one rip. That was a good cut by Cam Houston. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. And that's a little tapper foul. Hits the roof of the bullpen. It makes a clinking sound, and we'll start it up again. Like Paxton, while we were at break, I was thinking of that great team that won the championship last year with Bailey Thorne. Also, like, you had Noah Strickland on that team, Carson Ward. I mean, you had some great players on that team, and we were glad to be a part of it. There's the 1-2, and there's a little chopper to Carino. Sets, throws to first, the stretch by Sherman for the out. So 6-3 on the putout if you got a baseball score sheet like I do.
And that was big for Pachelli. They really needed that to come out there, get 1 out on that first batter.
I do think if Pachelli can hold Calvary to not scoring any more runs, they could start focusing on chipping away at this lead.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you saw in the first inning, they were able to load the bases up. They've got the potential to get some runs scored. They've just got to get that spark going.
Now you can hear the bench saying T. Oh, they hit him. Oh, that's a little steener by Trip Ellison, but he's going to take first base.
Somebody that I know very well has always said that's first base the hard way right there.
Yeah.
Looks like that one might have caught him in the leg.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay. Yeah, you could hear the chatter from the student section from Calvary. I tell you, there are so many students here. I mean, we've got students that are on top of the brick that leads up to where we are.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen some pretty crowded Calvary games in my time, but on a Friday night, 7 o'clock, I mean, you got nothing else going on. I mean, this is just a perfect atmosphere to come out. And some of these baseball games that start at 4, I know we're in the playoffs. Shaw and Columbus are in the playoffs. They got a doubleheader because they got games 1 and 2 today, a game 3 if necessary. But right now, and this is pretty much the only game that's only one game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks
Trip
like
Ellison's
okay.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be okay. That's a good sign to see. By the way, this is not the last regular season game. Calvary Christian, even though this is the last area game, they will play Southern Christian on Monday, and they will play a home and away against Heritage.
Yes.
So, and then they will start the GIAA playoffs. They are projected to be a 5 seed, which means they would host in the first round, which is May the 9th and the 10th.
And it does look like Ellison is being helped to the back of the dugout there.
Yeah, but he is going to get a pinch runner, and that is going to be number 32.
I believe it's Knox
Yeah,
Lewis
that's
over
Knox
there.
Lewis, yes. The sophomore. Now Bryson Brooks, who got a double his last time up. Remember, he hit that one all the way to the right field fence. I thought it was going to be he's gone for his 4th home run.
Yeah, and that part of the field out there, this field is very oddly shaped. If you ever see an aerial view of it, you'd be like, what in the world am I looking at here?
Does it remind me of Minute Maid Park in Houston?
Oh, it's...
Remember when they had that hill in center field?
Yeah.
Pitch to Brooks. That's low for a ball.
But no, if you're going to hit a home run, right center and right field, that's your place to do it on this ballpark.
Velos from the stretch. He's got a 1-0 count. Knocks at first, and the pitch. Change up that's high and above the letters. It's 1-1. Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Richard Holdridge. It's Paxton Holloway. Having a blast here at Calvary. A rivalry. 2 private schools here in Columbus. Calvary and Pachelli. 2-0. That's in there for a strike. And when you think of a team that's joining the GIAA, it was a perfect fit for Calvary.
Oh, absolutely. With Brookstone and Pachelli in there, that's, they're looking their chops every single year now to be able to play them in region games, not just once every now and then in the season here and there.
Velos, the 2-1 to Brooks, high and outside. It's 3-1. And you look at the last couple of years, Calvary has been dominating the gaps. They only play like 2-3 teams from the gaps. Everybody on their schedule was GHSA schools, and Brookstone and Pachelli. They've always played a tough schedule, and that gets them ready for gaps play last year and now the GIAA. Here's the 3-1, and that's in there for a strike. And even though they're 14-12, they're ranked 5th because of their strength of schedule. You have a team like Athens Christian that's ranked 6th. They're 19-3 because they haven't played the schedule that Calvary's played. It's a 3-2 count. Velos, the payoff pitch, and that's line to center. Back at it is Danielson and makes the catch for out number 2. And again, Brooks has been showing he's got some power in this game. A deep fly ball to center. He had a deep fly ball to right. Now here comes Jackson Kennedy. Kennedy had a sac fly and an RBI in the first.
If Pachelli can get out of this bottom of the inning here scoreless, that would be huge for them. I believe that could be the spark that they're looking for to try to get something started for them.
Velos from the stretch. And the first pitch to Kennedy is fouled away.
Looks like he just caught that one off the handle.
We're live here at Calvary, a packed house for this game, and got student section from both teams, and it's really been a great atmosphere. This game 3, the rubber match, both teams so far tied 1-1, and this will be the deciding factor in this series. And the pitch to Kennedy is in there right on the outside corner for strike 2.
Just a beautiful pitch there by Velos. Kennedy now behind in an 0-2 count. He's got to try to put something in play here.
Yeah, this would be huge for Pachelli if they get out of this inning without giving up a run. Velos from the stretch. The 0-2 to Kennedy. High and away. This broadcast is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, Buffalo Rock, Kinetic Credit Union, and Masterwall Incorporated. I've not seen Grant Smithwick here. I know that he's usually at all these Calvary games. We appreciate him and his support for Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Masterwall. There's the 1-2. Just missed. It's ball 2. Deuces are wild.
Sounds like we got some dueling air horns
This
now.
is like the equivalent of cowbells at Mississippi State. I've never heard so many air horns. It's like the 2010 World Cup when they were blowing the vuvuzelas. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Jackson Kennedy. And the pitch. High drive, deep, back at the wall. And that's going to be a double for Jackson Kennedy. And normal ballparks, Paxton, that would have been out, but Calvary's got kind of like a green monster out there.
I was just about to say, off the black monster, I guess you could call it. Maybe the green and black monster if you want.
I don't know. That kind of looks like a shade of green. No, it is black. We got runners in scoring position for Calvary. And that was with 2 outs as well. Now here comes Tommy Irving. As Braxton Wilkinson is the pinch runner for Jackson Kennedy as he gets the courtesy runner, being the catcher.
And Irving last inning did have that strikeout, but was able to get on the first
able to get on base, yeah, exactly. That's going to be a ball, 1-0. And Irving did score a run. And the pitch to Irving is in there for strike 1. We're here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Calvary leading Pachelli 4-0. Velos delivers the 1-1. And that's up the middle. And Carino can't get it. It's a base hit. 1 run scores. 2 run scores. And Calvary now leads 6-0. Give Tommy Irving 2 RBIs on that play. And that was with 2 outs.
Yeah, and now you got to think it's imperative for Pachelli to get out now. They cannot give up any more runs. Got Nate Osborne coming up.
So Nate Osborne, he's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Velos from the stretch and the pitch to Osborne. And there goes the runner, sliding head first. And that's going to be a stolen base for Tommy Irving.
I believe that's 2 for Irving, isn't it?
Give him 2, I know. I tell you, we need to have a promotional deal every time somebody steals a base. You remember watching the World Series, steal a base, steal a taco?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I cheered. Anytime somebody stole a base in the World Series, I'm like, yeah, we got a free taco.
Oh, absolutely. Same thing with like 2 missed free throws in an NBA game, win a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. Ain't nothing better than that.
Love those promotional deals. The 1-0, and that curve didn't quite break. Ball 2 to Nate Osborne. We're trying to get an update on that Shaw-Crisp County game. The 2-0, and it's outside for a ball. It's 3-0 now to Nate Osborne. And up calls time. Coach Rasmus is going to come out and have a talk with his pitcher.
Remember the last sound that the PA played was the Seinfeld theme. I wonder what they're going to play this time.
Well, I've seen PA announcers play the Jeopardy theme music, but that's probably the most common. And I don't recognize that. Well, as they have a mound visit, going to take a look at some of the around the town scores. Oh, that's the Charlie Brown theme music. Drew Charter ends up beating Jordan in game 1, 9-1. We had Columbus defeating Sonoraville 2-0 in game 1. I know that Glenwood was leading in the game against Thomasville. We'll try to get an update on that. And Max Prep's not really updating that. And I don't have an update on Shaw and Crisp County, and Central's playing Baker. So we got a busy slate of games, regular season and playoffs. All right, mound visit over. It's a 3-1 count to Nate Osborne. Milos. And he steps off the rubber. And you can hear the student section screaming, ball four, ball four. That's just trying to get in the pitcher's head. You got to, like in the movie For Love of the Game with Kevin Costner, defend the mechanism. That's why he pitched a perfect game in that game. 3-0 pitch to Osborne, and that's in there for a strike. By the way, did you happen to see the NFL draft yesterday?
I did. What
do you think of Michael Williams going to the 49ers?
Hometown boy here from Columbus. Fun fact, my mom actually taught him back in 3rd or 4th grade.
Nice.
So it was really cool to see him get drafted at 11.
3-1, and that's going to be outside, ball 4. We got runners at the corners, still with 2 away. And now here comes Liam Hokut. Last time he was up, got a RBI single. He's 1 for 1 in the game.
Definitely looking to duplicate that.
Yeah, I would love to see him get a 2-out rally because that was with 2 out. Nope. Yeah, that was with 2 outs.
And he does have runners on the corners here.
Trying to get it in play. Pachelli they want to just try to get out of this inning. I mean, this has just been a disaster for Pachelli, especially when they had 2 outs. I thought that they were able to get out, but this is what Calvary does. They're able to get clutch base hits with 2 outs. Milos fouled away. And even with the protective net, you still have fans that will flinch when the foul ball is coming right at them.
Honestly, it'd be concerning if fans didn't flinch if it's coming right at them.
So no 1 count to Liam Hokut, who's just a tremendous athlete, also a basketball player. Plays first base. The 0-1. I tell you, that was pretty loud. And
I'm seeing a few air horns down here in
they're
the
doing the
Pachelli
air
student
horns
section.
Right when the pitcher is pitching, they're doing the air horns. I think the umpire is going to have a conversation with. I don't know if it's going to be about the air horns, but
I feel like it might. I'm surprised they've let him go on for this long, to be honest with you.
This could get to a point where it could get out of hand. But let's just play a friendly game of baseball. And, but I don't know if that is the reason why it's breaking the pitcher's concentration. Yeah, they are taking away the air horns. I don't think they're taking away all the air horns, though. I think somebody might end up having a secret stash somewhere. Just like that one. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Now they're singing happy birthday
to Coach Steve Smith.
Yeah. I do remember he had a birthday right around this time. The 1-1 high and above the letters. 2-1. Yeah, last year Calvary played a much earlier schedule in the gaps. Their championship was a lot earlier. The GIAA, they go all the way until the beginning of May in the regular season, and then Synovus Park championship into May. That's in there for a strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, and Calvary used to have to play those earlier games. These lights are still pretty new here to the ball field.
So they used to not have lights?
They did not. These are pretty recent. I believe they got installed 22, maybe 21. But
wow.
Yeah, they're very recent.
So they were having like 4 o'clock first pitch.
Yeah, and there were definitely time constraints on each game because if it started getting dark, you couldn't see anything.
2 balls, 2 strikes in the pitch. Oh, that got close to hitting Hokut, and it did. And the bases are loaded. Paxton, do you think that the fans have had an impact in this game?
Oh, absolutely. I don't understand how you could be out there trying to pitch with all this going on and have it not get in your head.
It has to be distracting.
And that's something that the Calvary students have always done very well is get under the opponent's skin, and they do play a big factor. in every single game. It doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, baseball, any game that they're a part of, they are going to make an impact.
Well, that's going to be all for Jacob Velos. We're going to step aside as the new pitcher is going to come in and get his warm-up toss. We'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We are back. The new pitcher on the mound is Nathan Boatner for Pachelli. He has got a 250 earned run average. He's 0-1 on the season. This is his 5th appearance. And the lefty is up there facing Brady Reed.
You know the pressure's got to be on Boatner's shoulders here, coming in down 6-0.
Yeah, there's ducks on every pond here with 2 outs. And Calvary's been doing this with 2 outs. And you can see the fans that are standing up that's kind of in the way of the camera. So these are things that you kind of gotta factor in as far as
Boatner with the pitch.
Yep, and that is
It is a ball.
2-0. I'm not sure why the fans decided to stand up. That's high for a ball, 3-0.
I think it might just be to try to get in Pachelli's heads even more.
This might be the craziest scene I've ever seen in a baseball game. That's in there for a strike. Here's the 3-1. And that's going to be ball 4, and a run will score. And Calvary now leads 7-0.
Play number 29, Fitz Stone.
Hocutt, second RBI. He walks in a run.
And here comes the freshman Fitz Stone.
That pitch is in there for a strike. Yeah, that's Fitz Stone, the batter. Oh, 0-1 count. To Stone, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Boatner. Ahead in the count, the 0-2. There's little chopper over to Vaughn. Throw to first. In time for the out, but Calvary puts up 3 more on the board. What do we got here?
Looks like a blowhorn was still in the Pachelli student section there.
Oh, man. I tell you, we've played 2, probably the most craziest 2 innings I've ever been a part of, Paxton. But
for sure,
we got you calling the next 3 innings, so looking forward to it.
Yes,
we go to
sir.
the top of the 3rd. Calvary leading Pachelli 7-0. Back after this.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live is proud to partner with one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock. And without this partnership, it would be hard to be able to live stream all the different sporting events at high schools, colleges, and local professional teams every single week like we do. So we thank Buffalo Rock for their support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast, make sure you're drinking a nice, refreshing Pepsi. Delicious. Thank you to Buffalo Rock and Pepsi.
All right, welcome back. Top of the 3rd inning. Paxton, take it away.
All right, up to bat here is Jacob Velos. Pachelli back up to the top of their order here. And in the top of the 1st, they did load the bases up, but then were held scoreless.
Yeah, Velos was able to get aboard with a single, but he was stranded at 3rd. I tell you, since that moment when Pachelli stranded the bases loaded in the 1st, it's been all Calvary.
Oh, yeah, that was momentum for Calvary that they needed, and they took off with it. They did what a baseball team's supposed to do. When you get an ounce of momentum, when that door kind of creaks open, you got to go through it. Silvestrini so far hasn't allowed any runs for Calvary. That one is called strike there. Going to move the count to 3-1 on Jacob Velos. Here's the pitch. It is fouled behind him into the netting for Velos. Moves the count to 3-2.
Good job by Silvestri to battle back to a full count. He had him 3-0, and he just continued going at Velos. Try to get him to hit something.
Here's the payoff pitch. That one is hit back up the middle. Houston is unable to dive out and grab it. So Velos is going to get on base with a leadoff single here for Pachelli. And could that be the spark that they are needing to get started in this game?
They need that spark, because if they're not too careful, Calvary could end up beating them on a mercy roll. They're getting close. If they're scoring runs in every inning, that's Calvary's goal here. But Velos, maybe that's the spark that gets it going. That's his 2nd hit of the game.
Yep, and shortstop Cam Carino is up for Pachelli.
By the way, Cam Carino, also a pitcher. I got a privilege to talk to Dave Plata's broadcast journalism class. Cam Carino is one of the students in there, and so it was nice just to have him in there and interested about broadcasting.
That one up near the face there, but it's taken as a ball.
Yeah, Carino, he is 1 for 1. Remember, he had that base hit because Velos able to beat out the throw. Otherwise, that would have been a fielder's choice. Velos actually got him credit for a hit because he was able to beat out that throw to second.
Well, Velos' speed on first, you would have to think that they might be trying for a hit and run or try to bunt him over.
And by the way,
outs.
I always talk to his dad. You know, he's the younger brother of Justin Velos.
That one is grounded out to Tommy Irving at second. He does get him at second and gets him at first.
Oh, how about that? Paxton, the tailor-made 4-6-3 double play. Or did they get him at second first? They did.
The call does stand as the double play.
They did. Wow.
Beautiful play by Tommy Irving and Calvary there. Tommy to Cam Houston, and then Houston over to Hokut. The chemistry is definitely there for the Knights right now.
I wonder if they practiced that a lot, because that was like zipping through the infield.
The one thing I can tell you about Steve Smith as a head coach for baseball is that he practices for any scenario in a game. Anything that can possibly happen, they are going to practice it. And that's what makes Steve different from a bunch of other coaches in the high school level. And that's what ultimately landed in that job with the Chattahoots for a couple years.
Oh, absolutely. And he was great with the Chattahoots, getting to 2 SBL championships.
That one is fouled behind him there for number 20, Connor Zitrauer.
Yeah, he was hit by a pitch last time up. He's got 5 home runs on the season. You talk about power hitters in this area, you got to put Connor Zitrauer along there with Kingsley Long, Mason McCrane, Sam Brown over at Central. Bryson Brooks here for Calvary.
And a home run here for him would be huge for Pachelli.
How fun would that be to have a home run derby with all the big power hitters in this area at Synovus Park?
Oh, it would be awesome. And there's no doubt in my mind that a lot of these kids would be able to put it over the fence at Synovus.
Yeah.
It is an 0-2 count right now, though, on Zitrauer. Here's the pitch from Sylvester. That one's deep.
Oh, boy.
That one's deep.
That's looking like
that one's gone.
That's number 6.
And I might have manifested that one for Zitrauer.
I think so, because I was talking about his power as far as home run hitting. And that definitely would have gone over the fence at Synovus Park.
Oh, for sure. That one was a shot. Any shot out to left field, that's a shot here.
And still the Calvary fans throwing shade at Pachelli. They're saying scoreboard, scoreboard.
You give the Calvary fans a lead, you give Calvary a lead, they're going to let you hear it until you catch back up or take it. But you got to think that's the spark right there that we were talking about Pachelli needed, that they were looking for. Zitrauer gets it over the fence for him. That will bring up Levi Thompson, the left fielder, number 18 for Pachelli.
0 for 1 with a strikeout.
Thought about offering at it, held up, but it did tip off his bat. I'll put him at an 0-1 count here. Here's Sylvester. Beautiful breaking ball in there for a strike.
Tell you one thing about Calvary is they do have the pitching behind Tommy Irving. He is the ace, but you got Braxton Wilkinson, you got Silvestri.
You got Fitzstone. He is.
Yeah, Fitzstone
I was
as well.
able to see him last week, and it really blew me away with him being so young, how well he pitched against a powerhouse like Brookstone.
And you're going to need that when you get into these best-of-3 series in the GIAA playoffs.
Looks like there is going to be a mound visit here.
Yeah, and Coach Smith is racing to the mound. He wants to try to get this conversation short and sweet.
I think he might just be telling him, hey, you know, you're 0-2 right now. You've got him.
You are in command.
Right here.
You got this.
Get out of this inning with only 1 run given up. Let's get the bats back rolling.
Well, I tell you what, with Calvary making the transition to the GIAA as an athletic program as a whole, they fit right in with baseball.
Oh, absolutely. And
they
their
can compete
baseball
for a
team.
championship.
Yes.
This is absolutely a championship team.
And it doesn't matter what year it is, how many seniors you have graduate, because I believe last year it was some crazy number of seniors
Like
that
18
graduated.
seniors?
Yeah, 17 or 18. But they fill those positions because everybody wants to be a part of this culture. Everybody wants to be a part of this team because they've seen so much success with those state championships, and they're looking to add another one this year. Silvestri did throw Thompson a ball there, so that will move the count to 1-2. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, evens up the count at 2-2. Pachelli coming off that home run. Looking to get back into this rubber match here, tied 1-1. That one is offered at, it is hit out to shortstop to Cam Houston.
What a stretch by Hocut.
Hocut did everything he could to get it.
He did everything he could on that play. I thought he would have got it, but I think his foot came off the bag.
Nonetheless, great effort there by Hocut. Looked to be a little bit underthrown by Houston there. Coming up to bat for Pachelli is number 2, Braden Hudson, the catcher.
Remember, he lined out to the second baseman, Irving, with the bases loaded, which I actually think that play changed the momentum in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he bobbled it. I thought it was a ground ball. I thought Pachelli scored the first run. That was a line drive right to Irving.
Silvestri did throw him a first pitch fastball there. Got by him for strike 1. Count is 0-1 right now. 2 outs on the inning. Man at first, Levi Thompson over there. That one offered at, looks like just a, and it is going to be brought in by Calvary. Calvary does give up 1 run there at the top of the inning with the home run, but that's all that they do. We'll be right back. This is Paxton Holloway with Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live is proud to partner with one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock. And without this partnership, it would be hard to be able to live stream all the different sporting events at high schools, colleges, and local professional teams every single week like we do. So we thank Buffalo Rock for their support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast, make sure you're drinking a nice, refreshing Pepsi.
CBCC got my vote all day long.
Delicious. Thank you to Buffalo Rock and Pepsi.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Calvary Christian School for the bottom of the 3rd inning for Calvary versus Pachelli in this rubber match series, tied 1-1. And I believe this is the 3rd straight inning that Calvary is starting off with Cam Houston at bat.
Yeah. He's 1 for 2. He's got 2 stolen bases, a run scored, and actually he's 0 for 1. He's got a walk. Not official at bat in that first.
Hard cut there by Houston. Offering at the first pitch by Boatner there. And that one is lined over the shortstop's head by Houston there. Going to be a routine single for him. Well, there he is in the hitting column. And Trip Ellison is coming back up to bat for Calvary. Last inning did take kind of a scary hit, looked like to the bottom of the leg, but he is back out here at bat.
But he was able to get a pinch runner. But
he was.
He singled, run scored with an RBI.
We're going to see if that ankle's still bothering him at all here, if that affects his at-bat.
I like the lefty-on-lefty matchup here.
Boner does check Houston over at first, but nothing going. Houston is back in time.
By the way, game 2 of Columbus and Sonoraville underway.
Checks him again. That ball is well past the first baseman, so Houston.
Oh, look at this.
He's rounding second. He's headed for third.
He's on his horse.
Sliding head first and is in there safely. And yet another error by Pachelli that might end up costing him.
I'll tell you, Cam Houston, he is an athlete, a baseball player.
Yes, he is.
That's the type of player. Reminds me of Ronald Acuna Jr. for the Braves. We kind of bring it local. Chris Biggs for Northside, Mercer Hudson for Brookstone. Just a scrappy, hard-nosed, just trying to manufacture runs.
Trip Ellison.
I wonder if this is going to be deep enough. He's going to try to tag. Here comes
Houston.
Cam. We got to throw the plate.
And he's there in time.
Oh, you knew the confidence knowing that fly ball was deep enough for him to tag.
I think anything into the outfield was deep enough for Houston with how fast he just moved right there.
He kind of knew it. It wasn't quite in the deep part of the outfield. It was actually located in the same spot where the infield fly rule happened in 2011 in the one-game playoff between the Braves and the Cardinals.
That's right, and you know Coach Smith over there was in his ear telling him, as soon as that ball got in the air, you're going. Bryson Brooks is up to bat here. Did almost hit a home run in the first inning out to right field.
He's had solid contact both at bats.
Here's the pitch. It is outside to Brooks. Ahead of the count early for Bryson. And Zitrauer, the home run leader for Pachelli, got him a home run earlier. Can Brooks, the home run leader from Calvary, get one for him? That one's also taken outside by Brooks. That count moves up to 2-0. No men on. So Bryson just trying to get something out there. Here's the pitch. About the same spot there. Count is 3-0.
It's like the student section willing that ball for.
That one's deep out to right. Looks like it's going to die out, though, for another pop fly out to right field. Giving it a scare, though, wanting to go out there.
Paxton, I got to ask you, do you think the loss to Pachelli yesterday kind of lit a fire under Calvary to try to get this win at home?
Oh, I think so. Just because of how Calvary's been playing recently, they've gotten hot at the right time, and that loss, they didn't want that to throw a loop for anything. So I definitely believe the team has a fire lit. The students definitely do, as we've been able to tell. Boatner does throw it low on the breaking ball.
And, you know, they started region play having to play Westfield School and Strong Rock, where they split the doubleheader on the road. They kind of felt like they could have won both those games.
Absolutely. But, you know, in any sport you play, it matters how you play down the stretch. And right now, Calvary is playing very well. That one is thrown for a strike, though, by Boatner, the lefty for Pachelli.
Pax, I got to ask you this question. Is it possible they could end up meeting Brookstone in the GIAA playoffs?
I think it's very possible. And honestly, I think that that's something that Calvary is hoping for. I'm thinking
we're all hoping for it.
That one is fouled out of play off the light pole there. Oh, don't really see that very much.
I'm glad he did not pull a Griffin Montroy. Like, the light is still intact.
Yeah. Don't really see it hit off that light pole, though.
Yeah, it hit off the light pole, but just don't knock out the light.
Oh, yeah, no. That count will stay at 1-2, though. 2 outs. Here's the delivery from Boatner. It's grounded to third base there. The throw. Cannot come up with it on the pick.
Oh, that was a tough
Kennedy
play.
is going to get there. That is a very tough play.
Tough play by Sherman. He just had a stretch on that one. That might end up being an error on the first baseman. Or it might be an error on the throw by Zitrauer.
And here comes a name that we've been bringing up a lot this entire series, Tommy Irving, number 5 for Calvary. His name's been called more than a few times this game with his defense and his at-bats.
Yeah, Irving, last time he was up, he had a 2 RBI single.
Excuse me, it's Braxton Wilkinson coming up.
Oh, no, it is Tommy Irving. He's
Oh, sorry,
5.
Braxton he's pinch running.
Pinch running.
And he takes off.
He's taking off.
And he's in there safe.
I tell you what, I love the mindset. Every time you get on base, you're going to steal the bag. It's kind of like what Hardaway's been doing because they got at least 6 players with 20 or more stolen bases. You love to see that. You love seeing small ball and manufacturing runs by stealing bases.
Absolutely, and when you have the speed that the Calvary players do, why wouldn't you be wanting to steal second every single time? Especially with batters up to bat like Tommy Irving. Putting a man in scoring position is very, very critical for Tommy Irving. Boatner, however, does get him down to a 0-2 count, though.
Yeah, if Pachelli could get out of this inning with only giving up the 1 run, they'll take it. I tell you, this is such a crowded game. We're seeing fans in the outfield. I've never seen this at Calvary, where you got fans in the outfield. This is incredible.
And all game long, I've just been looking over, and there's more and more people just funneling into the park here. We thought it was 0-2. It was actually 1-1.
Yeah, we were actually looking at the scoreboard, and the scoreboard actually was correct. But
count will move to 1-2 now, though. Here's the pitch from Boatner. Irvin trying to push that one out to right. In those trees again.
And now they are mimicking the seagulls from the movie Finding Nemo. I tell you, these student section fans, they are so creative. I tell you, it's fascinating. It really is. This is the most entertaining I've ever had at a baseball game in high school.
Wilkinson does get back in time to second base. Boatner tried the move.
I tell you what, Paxton, the fans have made the difference in this game. They really lit a fire under Calvary. I think they got under Pachelli's skin. They have been more louder and more boisterous than the Pachelli fans.
Yeah, no doubt. Game's still not over. There's still plenty of game left, but
yeah, no question.
Pachelli's really got to step it up here. Because, I mean, if you look at the scoreboard right now, Calvary has scored every single inning so far in this game.
But it's tough with the way that Silvestri's pitching. Pachelli feels like they should have got more runs in that first. To leave bases loaded and not get anything, that's got to hurt.
And I do think that right there is the real factor in what's happening in this game. I think early on, having those bases stranded, that hurts you in the first inning especially, and then for Calvary to go out and put up a 4 spot, that's tough there, and it's hard to come back from.
Yeah, no question.
Irving again fouls it off into the netting, this time on the right-hand side.
And here's the thing, Pachelli's a young team. I talked to Coach Rasmus before this game. Right now, they would be a number 10 seed. I still think Pachelli has been in a tough region. They've played some GHSA schools. They've beaten Shaw. We know how good Shaw is. They can get an upset in the first round. They got to go on the road in the GIAA playoffs, but this is a young team playing loose.
And the steal from Wilkinson.
Oh, he got him. What a throw.
Get him over there.
Oh, that was a great throw.
Great throw behind the plate from Braden Hudson. Through 3 innings, though, Calvary is up 8-1. Does put up another run there, heading into the top of the 4th. Pachelli will come up to bat, looking to add some more, cut into this lead. This is Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without business like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Top of the fourth inning. Calvary leading Pachelli 8-1, as this game is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, Kinetic Credit Union, Buffalo Rock, and Master Wall Incorporated. We have got a huge crowd here at Calvary Christian. It's Richard Holdridge, it's Paxton Holloway, Colton Silvestri on the pitch the fourth. And starts Dustin Sherman off with a ball, 1-0. And Silvestri, 1-0. And that is fouled away. Here's the 1-1. Yeah, that's high above the letters. It is 2-1 now. Got a busy slate of games for the professional teams tomorrow as the Columbus Lions on the road taking on the Colorado Spartans. Columbus River Dragons up in Carolina, game 2 of the FPHL playoffs. 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike. And then Columbus's own Michael Williams gets drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. And I am, as a 49ers fan, I'm so excited. You talk about priding themselves on defensive linemen. The 2-2. It's inside, running the count full. You're priding yourself on defensive linemen. You got Nick Bosa. You've had Eric Armstead. You've had DeForest Buckner. Michael Williams, you could just add him to that list of great, soon-to-be great defensive linemen for the Niners. The payout pitch, fouled back, and look out, there's a car coming. That car luckily slowed down. They must have good eye vision. They had their brights on. They were able to see that ball coming and decided to stop. Silvestri, the payout pitch to Sherman. Outside ball 4. Sherman with a leadoff walk. Austin Danielson, who's 0 for 1, grounded out. Right to Silvestri. Throw to Houston. Off the bag, and he is safe. Sherman is going to be safe at second, and now Pachelli with runners at first and second and no outs. Might end up being an error on the pitcher because that throw was kind of off the mark. We have a score update. Game 2 between Jordan and Drew Charter. As Jordan leading 2-1 in the top of the 7th. Jordan trying to get the upset. You know, they could possibly play Callaway in the second round. That'd be a dream matchup for this area. Alex Aponte, who popped up to the second baseman, is first time up. Faced with a 1-0 count. No outs. Runners at first and second. Live here from Calvary Christian. Aponte pulls back the bunt. It's 2-0. We'll try to get more score updates as the night continues. It's 2-0 count to Emponte. And that's hit on the fist. Right to Irving. Makes the catch. 1 away. That was hit on the button. Tommy Irving able to patrol right at second base, and now Merrick Miller is going to come up to the plate. We appreciate everybody watching us on Facebook and on YouTube today. Miller lines one to left, and that's going to be caught by Brody Reed. What a catch. He's like, you know what? I got this. Now back to the top of the order for Jacob Velos. And Velos, he is 2 for 2 today. Paxton, he's had a pretty good day at the plate.
Yes, he is, and now he's got 2 men on. Has a very good shot at getting something going for Pachelli, chipping into that lead. Silvestri does throw him a first pitch strike, though.
By the way, I was giving the score updates. You know, Jordan is leading Drew Charter 2-1 in the top of the 7th.
That's a good game. That's one to keep an eye on right there.
Can Jordan get the upset and move on to the next round? By the way, you know who they might end up playing if they do get the upset? Callaway. So you're talking about we could possibly get a Columbus Shaw matchup in the second round next week. We could possibly get a Jordan Callaway matchup in the second round.
That right there is some great baseball. That would be very entertaining to watch there.
I'm talking about the 2A baseball has been fascinating. When you have teams like Callaway and Pike County, who won a state championship in 2022. Wow.
Looks like another blowhorns on the scene.
Somebody's got a secret stash somewhere. And
I saw a truck rolling up here earlier, and they were blowing some out, so they might have taken a little trip down to Walmart and got them a couple. Great pitch, though, from Silvestri. Moves the count to 1-2 on Velos.
I tell you, there is no love lost between these two schools. This is a rivalry that it really now means something that they're both in the GIAA.
Absolutely. And
if it didn't mean anything before, now it does.
It doesn't matter what sport it is. They're going to take to each other, calling each other out on social media. Just coming up with some very creative stuff. You think they're creative down here. There's some stuff to see on the social media pages.
By the way, a score update. We are in a weather delay. The Chattanooga Lookouts lead the Columbus Cleanstones 3-0. You know, yesterday's game got rained out, and they're going to play a doubleheader tomorrow.
Silvestri checking his runner. Here's the windup, and the pitch is hit back up the middle, and no play is able to be made.
But Houston might have saved a run.
I think he did there by stopping the ball, getting it to third base.
Tommy Irving is slow getting up. That was a base hit up the middle, but Houston's speed getting to the ball saved a run because Pachelli would have got a run.
That's one of those spots there where if you hit it, it's tough to do anything with. And so to do what Houston just did it's a lifesaver for Calvary right there. It does load the bases up for Pachelli. First pitch is fouled on top of the dugout, rolling down. Somebody might get a baseball and their hamburger is going straight for the grill.
I think they're doing that in the parking lot.
That's what it sounds like. Cam Carino is
found a loophole.
Here's the 0-1 offer to Carino. Fastball taken for a strike, 2. Moves count 0-2 on Carino.
Carino's 1 for 2. He's got a single. He did ground into the 6-4-3 double plays last time up.
And Silvestri here looking to escape another scenario with bases loaded. Here's the pitch. That one is thrown outside and a little bit low, but great stop by Kennedy.
Yeah, I think this is an understatement when I tell you I've called a lot of baseball games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live the last 2 years. This may be the craziest one I've called.
Oh, this is insane. That is a little dribbler. That's going to be tough to deal with. Irving
Oh, he got him.
hits it.
He got him.
Hits the big out for Calvary. And again, Calvary holds them to nothing when they have loaded bases. They leave them stranded out there. Going into the bottom of the fourth, though, it is going to be Calvary still 8 and Pachelli still at 1. We'll be right back at you from Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live is proud to partner with one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock. And without this partnership, it would be hard to be able to live stream all the different sporting events at high schools, colleges, and local professional teams every single week like we do. So we thank Buffalo Rock for their support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast, make sure you're drinking a nice, refreshing Pepsi. Delicious. Thank you to Buffalo Rock and Pepsi.
Welcome back, everybody, to the bottom of the fourth. Calvary Knights are coming back up to bat with Tommy Irving. Remember, it was Braxton Wilkinson getting caught stealing at third base. Tommy Irving, though, going to look to get Calvary started. And Richard, Calvary is starting to kind of get in that area of mercy rule territory.
Yeah. Remember, 15 runs after 3, 10 after 5. And I like Calvary's chances. They've scored in every inning.
They have, and that's very important to note here. They're definitely going to try to keep that one going.
Something to keep an eye on.
Boatner does throw a ball for his first pitch. Here's the second. That one is low, taken for ball 2.
By the way, the second round of the NFL draft underway. Shadur Sanders still not selected. And we're at pick 53. Yeah, shocking. But is it?
We'll let y'all at home decide that. Boatner, though, does get a strike there. Moves count to 2-1.
By the way, join us tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Thrift and I will be at the Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC showroom in Opelika for our live show. Special guest, Colin Scroggins from CNAW2 News. And then we will be at the Hardaway Block Party for the Hardaway Lady Hawks Championship basketball team. Who knows? Maybe Michael Williams can make a special appearance.
That would be something.
Yeah.
Boatner, though.
Little dribbler. Oh, you got to hurry with this one.
And Tommy beats it out with that
Good
speed
play.
that he's got. I believe the last of the air horns, though, were driving by. They might be headed out.
He drove away. He wanted to make his impact known.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm in control. I'm still blowing my air horn, and I'm in my vehicle. Unbelievable.
Looks like that ball went out of play, so it is going to be a free base for Irving on that single. That will bring up number 10, Nate Osborne, for the Knights.
Osborne grounded out, and he walked his last time up.
First pitch offering from Osborne is fouled down the third base line. Goes behind in the count early on here, 0-1.
Yeah, last time these two teams played here, Pachelli had a 3-1 lead going into the 7th. Calvary was able to rattle back and walk it off in the 7th to win game 1. A huge game because they were fighting to try to maybe win the region.
That one's hit deep by
that's
Osborne. It takes a lot to get out in center field here, but that is going to advance Tommy Irving to third base.
And Irving had to be careful there. He got to make sure they didn't leave early on that tag.
It did look like he might have
maybe
started a little bit, but
maybe that could have been very close.
Liam Hokut is coming up to bat. Irvin looking to score yet again in this game.
By the way, the Browns drafted Quishon Junkins. I think the Browns had the best draft so far, trading out of that second pick. And they got a first-round pick next year because I don't see Jacksonville doing anything this year.
And Quishon Junkins is a heck of a guy. Going to be a great
That might have been a steal in the draft.
I think Cam Scattaboo, if he ends up going, is going to be a steal there.
Oh,
Hokut
yeah.
with a hard cut down the line. Just foul, though. The count is 0-1. Nathan Boatner still on the mound for Pachelli.
Pachelli will play Strong Rock next week. So the region play is not over for Pachelli. And Strong Rock, they want to bounce back. They got swept by Brookstone. We're talking about a top 10 team in the GIAA. They're not having the greatest season in region play, and they're still fighting for their playoff lives.
Yeah. Boatner did throw another strike, though, so Liam Hokut's got to be careful of the 0-2 count here. Boatner's going to try to look to get out of this. Here's the pitch.
Here we go.
Breaking ball in the dirt is called for a ball. I'll move the count to 1-2.
Yeah, Liam Hokut, he's 1 for 1 in the game. He walked, singled. He has 2 RBIs.
Here's the pitch from Boatner. It's swung on by Hokut into the netting again. It's a good thing that's there, or else they would have lost quite a few baseballs here tonight.
By the way, the Braves play the Diamondbacks 9:40 because they're playing all the way in Arizona. That game's going to be on the MLB Network.
Here's a 1-2 pitch from Boatner. Looks like another, probably a changeup there in the dirt, though.
Yeah, good patience by Liam Hokut, just battling back. He was down 0-2. Now he got the count to 2-2.
Boatner is a lefty. Here's the pitch. Swung on by Hokut. Looks like that one's going to drift just foul. He is still alive. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 down in this inning.
Yeah.
Tommy Irving on third base.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room over there.
Here's Boatner. Swung on and missed by Hokut. Chalk one up for Nathan Boatner there. And that one's going to bring 2 outs on the inning. Brady Reed here is Calvary's hope to try to keep that streak going of scoring every inning this game. Nathan Boatner looking to get out of this. Put up the first 0 spot for Calvary in this game. Here's the pitch. Just a bit inside there. Brady Reed gets ahead of the count early at 1 ball and no strikes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a rubber match. Series is tied 1-1 between the Knights and the Vikings. That one hit back up the middle by Reed. Fielded by the second baseman. The throw does get him. And Pachelli is going to hold Calvary to 0 runs for the first time this game. They got to look to go out there going into the top of the 5th. Put some runs up, chip into that lead. We'll be right back on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without business like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing Sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the top of the 5th inning here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Current score is Calvary 8, Pachelli 1 with 2 innings left. Coming up bat first for Pachelli is number 20, Connor Zitrauer.
Yeah, last time he was up, he hit one that just landed.
Yeah, I think that ball was in orbit for all of last inning. First offer from Silvestri is a ball.
By the way, the baseball is fantastic up I-185. Troup County and LaGrange both advance easily to the second round. Would you expect anything else? Those are powerhouses in baseball.
Those are powerhouses, and it's completely expected. That one is roped foul down third base line, out of play.
Yeah, we saw LaGrange earlier this year on Georgia Alabama Sports Live take care of business against Columbus. I've gotten to know Coach Donnie Branch. They went to the state championship 2 years in a row in 2022 and 2023. It's just a fantastic baseball team.
The 1-1 pitch by Silvestri is fouled behind into the netting by Zitrauer. That's going to move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. You have to think that Zitrauer is thinking about sending another one over the fence.
Oh, he would definitely love that.
Here's the pitch.
Good eye by Zitrauer.
A beautiful breaking ball there by Silvestri.
So, yeah, this is not the final game of the regular season. We got Calvary's going to take on Southern Christian on Monday. Then they'll take on Heritage for a 2-game series. Pachelli's taking on Strong Rock.
Another one ripped down the third base line there by Zitrauer, but it is foul.
And by the way, Brookstone still has got a game left. They got to take on Westfield School in a makeup game. And I know a lot of people thought that would be a game that was a must-win for Brookstone to win the region because Calvary has the tiebreaker. But Pachelli ended up helping Brookstone win the region. Ooh.
That one is taken as a ball low by Zitrauer. Moves it to a full count. Silvestri's going to look to get out of yet another full count. And here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled down third base line again. Zitrauer's going to remain up there, still fighting. Pachelli looking for a spark here.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball inside for ball 4. Great at bat there from Zitrauer
Absolutely.
to get to first base.
Zitrauer was patient on that at bat.
That is going to bring up number 18, Levi Thompson.
By the way, a big shout out to Gerald Bedgood, trying to reach out to him to get some score updates. I know he's at the Columbus game. They took game 1 against Sonoraville. Columbus trying to get game 2. Shaw is taking on Crisp County. They're taking on Crisp County, and we could see a potential Shaw-Columbus matchup in the second round. But hopefully those two teams can win today so they don't have to play tomorrow.
First two pitches are taken as balls by Levi Thompson. Silvestri behind in the count. Thompson ahead. 2 balls, no strikes. Man on first.
Yeah, Levi is 1 for 2.
Shows bunt, nothing going, and that ball way overthrown over Hokut's head. Costly error there by Calvary. Zitrauer is standing up on third now. Calvary up to this point really hasn't had many errors.
Not at all.
But that one could prove to be what Pachelli needed.
By the way, Columbus leading Sonoraville in the 5th in game 2. And they won game 1 2-0. So they're leading 2-0 in that game.
2-0 pitch is swung on by Thompson. Silvestri moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Does have Zitrauer on third base to worry about. Here's the pitch, though. Swung on and missed again by Thompson. That one's going to sit him down.
That's going to be strike 3.
Brings to the plate number 2, Braden Hudson.
Catcher Braden Hudson coming up.
And he's 0 for 2 in the game.
1 out on the inning. Here's the pitch from Silvestri. Breaking ball taken high and inside for ball 1. Man still on third for Pachelli. Looking to get him in. And at this point in the game, Richard, Pachelli has to get him in to want really any chance. If they don't.
Yeah, just to extend this game.
That one is swung on and tipped.
Because you don't want to go in the 5th. Calvary knows they could walk it off with 2 more runs. So if Pachelli extends this game by getting some runs, they could get deeper into the 6th and the 7th inning and maybe get into this bullpen.
Yeah.
All right, Calvary's got to turn around and play a game on Monday.
Silvestri with the pitch. Another breaking ball taken high and in. We'll move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike for Hudson. Two-one offer by Silvestri.
Very
fastball
close.
Was very close, but it is a ball. I'm going to move the count to 3-1 now. Braden Hudson just trying to do something here. Here's the offer. That one is hit hard into the gap. That one hops off of the fence. Is going to score the run. Calvary tries to get Hudson coming back to first base, but does not. Hudson does get an RBI single there. And like we were saying, that chips into the lead. That's big for Pachelli and is exactly what they needed. There's going to be a mound visit.
I wonder how long Coach Smith is going to go with his starting pitcher. And that's going to be all for him. Well, he's pitched brilliantly in this game so far.
Oh, only 4 hits given up, 2 runs. Great outing by Silvestri.
Now it's going to be in the hands of the bullpen. Trying to see who that pitcher is. It's
number 33, it looks like. Trying to pull him up here.
I think it's 23. It's Brady Reed. Yeah, it's Brady Reed.
Brady Reed coming up to pitch now.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Calvary, number 23, Brady Reed.
And I want to remind everybody that this game is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, Kinetic Credit Union, Buffalo Rock Pepsi, Master Wall Incorporated, and also want to give a special shout out to our social media partner, Colin Scroggins of CNAW2 News. And don't forget that Colin is going to be live from the Glenn Smith Chevrolet showroom in Opelika with myself and Thrift Behringer. Colin Scroggins, real news, real local, real fast, real Colin. Got a chance to meet Colin. He's a proud Smith Station alum. Yeah, we were doing that backyard brawl basketball edition between Smith Station and Central earlier in the season.
Brady Reed's going to look to come in here, though, for Calvary and not allow any further damage, get the bats back up. These bats have been very hot tonight.
I love the fact that the PA announcer's got songs for these relievers. Like, I've seen a PA announcer play Enter Sandman. I know that's Mariano Rivera's song.
Yeah.
But you have that. He's playing Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses, which is kind of confusing because when I was a kid, I thought that Guns N' Roses sang the song Every Rose Has Its Thorn. I mean, obviously that's sang by Poison. The things that I thought about when I was a kid.
Brady Reed's first batter that he's facing is Dustin Sherman.
By the way,
14.
Dustin Sherman's mother, Mary Sherman, who is the president of the Georgia Sports Council, the Columbus Sports Council, she's going to be a part of the GHSA. So we wish her the best of luck, and I know that we're going to miss her here in Columbus, and she is here in attendance. She's going to be here for the next couple of months before she takes on that role in June.
There's one out on the inning. Runner is going. That one's popped up, though.
Is it playable?
Looks like that one's going to get out of play, hit off the dugout.
Not a whole lot of room there. By the way, the last big event before she takes off is the GIAA Baseball Championships, which will be at Synovus Park, May the 29th through the 31st.
And I know we are very excited about that opportunity. That's going to be an awesome
And getting
awesome
a chance to
experience.
tour Synovus Park, that is a state-of-the-art ballpark. I hope every baseball fan gets a chance to go to several Clean Stones games this summer. This is where you got to experience it more than once.
Here's the pitch by Reed. It's swung on and missed. That's going to move the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Braden Hudson on first base. Dustin Sherman at the plate right now for Pachelli. Brady Reed checking his runner over there, Hudson, but he does get back in time.
By the way, the top 5 teams in the GIAA, we have Brookstone at number 2. FPD is number 1.
Hudson is running, and that ball looks like it might have hit him. But he is in safe.
Yeah, it's FPD 1, Brookstone 2, Tatnall Square 3, and then we have Bethlehem Christian 4, Calvary is number 5, Athens Christian is number 6. Pachelli is actually ranked 10th. So they would end up playing the 7th seed, whoever that is. And I didn't get a chance to see exactly who the 7th seed. Maybe it's Tallulah Falls. I don't know. They're always good at baseball.
Here's Reed. That ball does get by Kennedy behind the plate. Hudson is standing up at third, and that is a stolen base.
Yeah, we have 2 away here in the 5th.
It is Austin Danielson. Not sure how you pronounce it, but he is up at the plate right now for Pachelli.
Remember, he pitched that gym on Tuesday.
Yes, he did.
He is Pachelli's best pitcher. Saw him pitch a gym.
That one looks like it's going to go.
Get out of here.
That one
wow,
does go. And what a shot by Austin Dennison right there.
What a moonshot.
And Pachelli now has cut the lead in half.
They have made it interesting, Paxton.
They have, and we knew it was just a matter of time before something happened. Something had to give for Pachelli, and that right there is it. They have 2 home runs on the game now. One just a solo shot, one a 2-run shot now. Calvary now needs to look to get out of this inning very quickly.
I tell you what, I do not want to face this Pachelli team in the playoffs. At home or away, they're going to be a dangerous team.
Alex Aponte is up now. A dueling chance now from both sides. Let's go Vikings, let's go Calvary.
And I don't think Calvary's going to drop past 5, and I don't think Pachelli's going to drop past 10. I mean, there is a slight chance these 2 teams could meet in the first round of the playoffs. A very slight chance.
Aponte has worked the count to 2-0 right now. Brady Reed looking to settle in here.
Yeah, Brody Reed's got to settle down.
Here's the pitch. That was just a little bit low there. Count is now 3 balls, no strikes. Cam Houston going to visit him up there. Just give him a little bit of encouragement. Tell him he's got it.
Yeah, right now Pachelli would be 10. Strong Rock at number 11.
And there's a nice strike there by Brady Reed.
I tell you, that's a big series next week. Pachelli does play Strong Rock for 3 games. You got the Keens Academy at 12. They would be in the playoffs. Look, I think Calvary would face, it would be a rematch of the GAPS championship last year.
Yep. And Brady Reed now has been able to work the count back to full 3-2.
Good job by Reed.
Aponte with that swing and miss for strike 2. Here's the payoff pitch by Reed. There's a little pop-up. Unable to get there is Reed. So Aponte's still alive. Keeps count at 3-2.
So Glenwood beat Thomasville 10-2 in game 1. Game 2 is now on the NFHS network. You can go check that out. Tell you, I still got my subscription. I was checking that out earlier today. I was also checking out Columbus on the NFHS network, taking on Sonoraville. Hopefully they can win game 2 in advance.
And swing on and miss by Aponte. Brady Reed able to escape the 3-2 count. Limits the damage, but not before Pachelli can cut that lead in half. Score going into the bottom of the 5th is Calvary 8, Vikings 4. We'll be right back from Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible to be able to cover these 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 5th from Calvary Christian for this rubber match. Series tied 1-1 between the Knights and the Vikings from Pachelli. Leading off for the Knights is Mason Bishop, number 12.
Yeah, Calvary going in with a pinch hitter here.
Coming out to a little bit of Paramore for his walkout song. I'm a little bit biased there.
Well, this is what Coach Smith does in the latter part of the innings. He likes to go to his bench just to, they've been on the bench and maybe just to get a spark going.
Nathan Boatner, excuse me, is still on the mound for Pachelli. Here's the pitch. That one is fouled by Bishop.
Yeah, Bishop is yet to get a hit on the season. I mean, he is a senior, but he hasn't had a whole lot of playing time. So, you know, Coach Smith just allowing him to pinch hit here in this situation.
Oh, what a big at-bat this is. Here, Calvary, if they can't put up any runs this inning, Pachelli is right back in it. Here's the pitch. That one's also fouled behind the plate.
But I tell you what, Pachelli's got the right guy in place. Coach Rasmus, he's got a young team. You know, we know about the sports at Pachelli. They've won volleyball, flag football, soccer, basketball. They haven't won a baseball championship since 2002. That's the ultimate goal, to win a championship. I mean, they got the facilities over there at Pachelli. I mean, they got the backing, the fan base.
That one swung, but it is fouled behind him into the netting again. Mason Bishop will remain at an 0-2 count.
But I tell you, they lost two key players from last year's team, Omar Kimbrough and Walker Hilton.
Yeah.
And those were two senior leaders, and those were tough losses. We got a chance to speak to both of them on media day.
That one going to no man's land.
That's going to drop.
That one does drop from Mason Bishop.
That's his first hit of the season.
Look at him go. No
Put
better time to do it.
that baseball in a case.
No better time to do it.
Somebody grab that baseball and put it on a display for him. That's his first hit of the season. They're not going to do that. It's all right.
That is going to bring Cam Houston up to the plate, though. They are at the top of the lineup. And Houston's had himself a pretty solid day today.
By the way, I do want to say yesterday, congratulations to Northside and Harris County, both winning both games and advancing to the second round of the GHSA playoffs. They got a tough road, though. They both got to have two tough teams in the second round.
That ball swung on into the gap between shortstop and third by Houston. That's going to advance Mason Bishop to second base. Houston gets him another single tonight.
Yeah, he's been on base 3 times.
Houston brings to the plate number 1, Trip Ellison.
Here comes Trip Ellison. Got a man on first and second with no outs. Got one of the coolest nicknames that I've heard of. They call him Skippy Toofi here.
And I love his walk-up song, too, Flex by Cupid.
Boatner steps off the mound there. Glad to see Ellison is okay from that scare when he went down earlier. Here's the pitch. Tries to lay down a bunt there.
By the way, we do have a score update. Callaway and Coachella Creek, they split the 2 games today. There will be a winner-take-all game tomorrow. I'm pulling for Callaway because we'd like to see Callaway. They're in the 2A playoffs, and then we can end up seeing Callaway face one of the Columbus teams down the road.
Here's an 0-1 count on Ellison right now. Boatner checking his runners. Here's the pitch. Lays that bunt down and just sneaks foul down the line.
That was a beautiful bunt, but it
thought that one was going to just stay right on the line.
Yeah, it had a little spin on it, so yeah.
It is going to move the count, though, to 0-2, so trying another bunt is very risky here.
Well, yeah, you got no outs. Anytime you have runners at first and second with no outs, ideally you want to bunt both of them over. But, with an 0-2 count, a little risky to try to bunt because it'll be a third strike if it goes foul again. But I think he's going to swing away here.
Boatner getting ready. Checking Bishop there behind him at second. Nothing going. Does try to lay down the bunt, and that one
is going to be foul.
It does go foul. That is going to be an out for Calvary. That means there is one down now. Number 3, though, Bryson Brooks is up to bat for Calvary.
He's 1 for 3, a double, a run scored, and 2 flyouts. He's hit the ball well. Yeah.
Both those flyouts have been pretty deep out to right. We've already seen one leave out of right center. Brooks, he's really trying to get one out there.
And I know they don't really keep track of sabermetrics and all that in high school baseball. I'd like to know, what's their batting average with runners in scoring position? What's their OBS? What's their overall slugging percentage? I know that they do keep track of it, but yeah, I'm fascinated by sabermetrics.
That one, he hits it up in the air to right field again. Looks like it is dying out though. It is dropped out in right field.
But that will be an out.
It is an out at second.
And this is exactly why they have the infield fly rule. But that is forced out because it's a pop-up. The runners are, you don't even go halfway there because it's too risky.
Yep. So it is a pop-out. It will move Bishop to third base.
Yeah, they're actually, in the scorer's book, they're going to rule that a fielder's choice because it was a force out. And that's going to be 9-6 on the put out. Yeah, that's a rare. Sometimes we get the 9-3 put out. I mean, it's rare, but you know you'll have it on the baseball score sheet every now and then.
And number 2, Jackson Kennedy up to bat for the Knights. He does have runners in the corners.
And he's got a double with a run scored, a sac fly, and he reached on air. He's been on base all 3 times today.
Boatner steps off, catching his breath here. Jackson Kennedy waiting that first pitch from Boatner. Here it is. A little bit high there. Great eye by Kennedy. Count is 1 ball, no strikes, with 2 down on the inning. Here's the pitch. Beautiful breaking ball by Boatner. 4 strike there. Evens up the count out 1-1.
By the way, Sonoraville leads Columbus 6-2 in the 5th. We might end up having a game 3 tomorrow, 11 o'clock at Columbus High.
Here's the pitch by Boatner. That one is swung on. It's a little dribbler out to shortstop. Does just beat him out though. Pachelli again holds Calvary to 0 runs in an inning. Going into the top of the 6th. This game's become interesting. Calvary 8, Pachelli 4.
Yes, it has.
We'll be right back.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
Top of the 6th inning, Brady Reed out on the mound, and Pachelli's made it interesting. They put up 3 in the 5th to cut the lead to 4 for Calvary. And the number 9 hitter, Merrick Miller, going to lead things off for the Vikings. As this is a game 3 of a 3-game series tied at 1 apiece. Calvary won the first game 4-3 on Tuesday. Pachelli defeated Calvary yesterday at Diamond Field 9-7. First pitch to Miller.
Beautiful breaking ball by Reed.
Yeah, in their first strike. And as expected, the student section has calmed down a little bit. As it's getting kind of late. A lot of them have kind of gone home, and there's the 0-1. And there's strike 2. Nice pitch.
If this game starts getting any closer, I think they'll wake back up here, but right now they have settled.
Reed, the 0-2. And that is in the dirt. A good stop by Jackson Kennedy, and it's 1-2.
Up till that last inning, Calvary had a lot of momentum with their pitching.
There's a ground ball. That's going to be right to the second baseman. What a throw, and what a play!
What a play by Tommy Irving.
Tommy Irving off the back foot. Actually, that was Jace. Irving's over at third now. They switched him over. Yeah, Jace Smith with incredible. Oh, and we just saw. That's not a good sign. Well, Jacob Velos, now the batter. Reed, first pitch to Velos. That's in there for a strike. Reed, pitch is in the dirt. It is 1-1. The leadoff hitter, Jacob Velos, has been on base all 3 times today. He has yet to score a run. The 1-1. Big swing and a miss. It's strike 2.
A big 1-2 count here. Here's the pitch by Reed.
Yep, and that is
in the dirt.
Low, 2-2. By the way, I don't think it's any concern, but I was looking at the radar. They are expected rain, but it should not come until about 10:30. But everybody is just hoping they get this game in. That's popped up. It's playable. Houston calling everybody off and making the catch for out number 2.
It does look like there is some lightning in the area.
And
we'll see.
We saw it, but looking at the forecast, that might have been miles away. And actually, it's closer than expected, but we don't want to jinx anything. 2 away, and Cam Carino now the batter. Reed, first pitch to Carino. Low and in the dirt. It's ball 1. Reed, the 1-0. Changeup that's away for a ball. It's 2-0. This game is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, Kinetic Credit Union, Buffalo Rock, and Master Wall Incorporated. There's the 2-0 to Carino. Just missed. And it's 3-0.
Carino here needs to try to get something going
and
for
get
Pachelli.
on base, because look who's on the on-deck circle.
Yep.
Mr. 6 home runs on the season, Connor Zitrauer. Here's a 3-0. And there for a strike.
Reed.
Yep, strike one. Reed from the stretch, the 3-1 to Carino. Outside ball 4, and Connor Zitrauer is going to come up to the plate. He has been on base all 3 times today. Hit by a pitch, a walk, and of course, the solo shot to give him his 6th home run of the season. And he actually cleared that awkward part of the fence where it actually goes in. Otherwise, a couple more inches, and that would have hit the Black Monster out there with the state championships.
And Reed just about gets Carino over there at first.
That was a close play. The kids are playing on that hill behind us like it's the kid zone at Synovus Park. Except the only thing is Calvary doesn't have the bouncy houses.
Maybe that'll come pretty soon.
That's coming.
I mean, judging off of this crowd, you're going to have something.
Yeah, something to entertain the kids. Reed from the stretch. The 1-0 to Zitrauer. Outside ball 2. I think Reed probably doesn't want anything from Zitrauer. He's not going to give him anything to hit.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's going to pitch around him.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him, because if you give up this home run right here, that cuts the lead to just 2. And, anything can happen with that. I mean, you saw what Calvary did just last night.
That's going to be a strike. Zitrauer with 6 home runs. I think that puts him in the lead as far as you got Colton Armstrong over at Russell County. Their season's over. But Sam Brown, Mason McCrane, he's up there. That's line foul.
It does even up the count, though, at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But I tell you what, Paxton, the baseball in this town has really been impressive, and it really starts with the Little League teams. District 8 has had a representative from the state of Georgia the last 4 years. That's saying something about the Little League around the city.
Absolutely, and it seems that no matter where you go in this city or the surrounding area, you're going to find some really good baseball teams. Any team that you watch, any game that you watch is going to be very entertaining. You're going to enjoy yourself. And like you're saying, that goes back to the Little League teams around the area.
Actually, correction, Northside last year, Northern Little League last year won District 8, but they actually lost to the team, Oconee. Kirby Smart's son played on that team. So they represented Georgia, but they did lose in the Georgia championship in Savannah. So I know my Little League baseball because I followed the Harris County team in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
Northern went to the Little League World Series in 2021. Reed, payoff pitch, fouled away. And by the way, in 2021, it was only American teams because of COVID. So 2 teams from the Southeast got to go to the Little League World Series, and it was Florida and Tennessee because they seem to make it to the Little League World Series every year.
Yep.
It seems like Florida and Tennessee knock out Northern and Harris County in the Southeast Regional. They always win those first 2 games, and then they end up losing to them. Here's the payoff pitch. Got him outside corner, strike 3, inning over. What a pitch by Brady Reed. As Pachelli strands a runner, we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 8-4. Calvary on top. Back after this on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing Sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
All right, here we go. Bottom of the 6th inning.
Bottom of the 6th, number 5, Tommy Irving.
Tommy Irving's going to lead things off. You got a cool nickname for Tommy Irving, like Tommy 2 times. He takes 2 practice swings of the bat, so we're going to call him Tommy 2 times. He takes his bat and he clicks his spikes twice. Tommy Irving, he's been on base all 3 times, so.
He's had a great series.
Yeah. He's got 2 RBIs. Remember, Tommy Irving, he was the pitcher that came in relief for Carson Ward in Game 2 against the Kings Academy last year. A 1-0 win. Calvary wins the GAPS championship. High, towering, pop-up. Carino is underneath it and makes the grab for out number 1. So I was impressed with Calvary's championship run last year because they won those games on the road.
Yeah.
They ended up beating Rock Springs on the road, and then they beat the Kings Academy on the road.
Yep.
And we were there on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. In fact, Britt Behringer was in Montgomery for Lee Scott Glenwood, and then made the trip up to Milton for Calvary, the Kings Academy. What an incredible day for Thrift. But an incredible moment. We are just excited that we got to be a part of Calvary's championship run the last 2 seasons. But now they're in the GIAA, and we are going to get GIAA TV. All right.
Looks like they are calling it.
Are they calling the game, or is it going to be a rain delay? Because we did have lightning in the area. We are going to keep it here. The umpire is going to determine if this is going to be an official game or if we're going to have a lightning delay. There is rain in the forecast. And we are back here at bottom of the 6th inning. We are currently in a 30-minute lightning delay. And we've had a few lightning strikes earlier. They say it's 30 minutes every lightning strike. So, I mean, that 30-minute delay could turn into an hour delay. It's saying that the closest lightning strike is 5 miles away. There is a system that is very close by over in Smith Station. And it says it's expected to be about a 45% chance by 10. But just looking at the system circulating, there's still a chance that it could reach us, but the lightning is actually close enough to us for them to call the delay. A lot of the fans have exited the park. I don't know if they're gonna stay around to watch the conclusion of this game, and I don't know if they're gonna call this game. They could resume play tomorrow. Like, luckily both teams are in Columbus.
Yeah.
They could resume play tomorrow. In situations like this, you're kind of glad that both teams are in the city, because if you had a team that had to travel 2 hours, that would be tough for them to turn around and play the duration of a game the next day.
Yep. But you know, this hurts for both teams because both of them, you know, Pachelli just started coming on back. Calvary trying to hang on to that lead and win this series. Both teams are chopping at the bit to try to win this, and
yeah,
you know, it definitely hurts. And you know, coming back tomorrow might throw a bit of a wrinkle in things because, you know, one team might be playing better than they did the previous night. You just never know with these type of things.
Well, we do have some score updates, and I want to thank Gerald Bedgood for giving us these score updates. Sonoraville is leading Columbus in the 5th inning. They might be in a lightning delay too. Shaw ended up falling to Crisp County in both games, so their season is over. Jordan lost to Drew Charter. Their season is over. And Hardaway lost to Cook, so their season is over. So, yeah, it's been a tough night for Columbus teams. Right now, they are currently in Game 2, Glenwood-Thomasville. I know they are also in a lightning delay. But, yeah, it's sometimes the weather can be unpredictable. I mean, just ask Northside on Wednesday. We thought that they were going to get that game in, and we were in a 2-hour rain delay. I mean, that's baseball. We can't really play in a dome. I don't think there's a high school in America that has an indoor baseball facility. I mean, that's weather is weather, and it's part of baseball. All right, we are in a lightning delay here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Calvary leading Pachelli 8-4 with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll keep you posted right here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Stick around.